as far as timing goes? He said in the midst of the week, rose on the Shabbat, Wednesday. You thought that he rose on a Wednesday? Based on the midst of the week? All right.
All right. Where was we at? Read what you was at again.
John chapter 6 and verse 41. And the Yahudim murmured at him because he said, I am the bread which came down from Shamayim.
I am what?
I am the bread which came down from Shamayim.
So he said, I am the bread which came down from Shamayim. He's making a comparison to something. So if the whole book is written about him, what is he talking about? That he is the bread which comes down from Shamayim. Let's get Exodus chapter 16, verse 14. So we're going to pay attention to detail. Exodus chapter 16 and verse 14.
The book of Exodus chapter 16 at verse 14. And when the dew that lay was gone up, behold, upon the face of the wilderness, there lay a small round thing, as small as the hoarfrost, on the ground. And when the children of Israel saw it, they said one to another, it is manna.
So where did this manna come from? It came from where? From the Shamayim, right? Mashiach said, I came down. Read.
For they wist not what it was. And Moshe said unto them, this is the bread which Yahuwah hath given you to eat. This is the thing which Yahuwah hath commanded. Gather it every man according to his eating, an omer for every man, according to the number of your persons. Take you every man for them which are in his tents. And the children of Israel did so, and gathered some more and some less. And when they did meet it with an omer, he that gathered much had nothing over, and he that gathered little had no lack. They gathered every man according to his eating. And Moshe said, let no man leave it until the morning.
Until when?
Until the morning.
He said, let no man leave none of it until the morning. Why can't they leave any till the morning? It's going to do what? It's going to rot. Now, when you take regular bread, does regular bread rot? What happens to it? It molds, right? But he's saying if you leave this bread, it's going to rot. What rots? Flesh, right? But it's something with this bread. So if you leave this out any day within the week, it's going to stink and it's going to breed worms, right? Read.
And Moses said, let no man leave of it till the morning. Notwithstanding, they hearkened not.
They did what?
They hearkened not, or they listened not unto Moses. But some of them left it until the morning, and it bred worms and stank.
And it bred worms and it stank. So they didn't listen. So this was one of the weekdays early up in the week. They was leaving it over, trying to test it. And if you leave it in the weekday, it's going to breed worms and it's going to stink. Keep that in mind. Read.
And Moses was wroth with them, and they gathered it every morning, every man according to his eating. And when the sun waxed hot, it melted.
It did what?
It melted.
So when the sun waxed hot, it melted. Hold that. Get Psalms 16 and 10.
The book of Psalms, chapter 16 at verse 10. For you will not leave my soul.
You will not do what?
Will not leave my soul.
Who is this talking? It's David writing a psalm, but he's speaking for who? Mashiach. Read.
For you will not leave my soul in Sheol or in hell. Neither will you suffer your set apart one to see corruption.
To do what?
To see corruption.
Says if he's in the grave for 3 days and 3 nights, what's going to be with his body? It's going to stink. It's going to breed worms and stink, right? But right here is letting you know that his body will not, or his soul will not see corruption, right? Go back to Exodus, where you left off at.
Exodus 16 and verse 21. And they gathered it every morning, every man according to his eating. And when the sun waxed hot, it melted. And it came to pass that on the 6th day.
On what day?
On the 6th day.
On the 6th day, read.
They gathered twice as much bread, 2 omers for 1 man.
So why do they gather twice as much on what is called Friday? It wasn't going to be there on when? On Shabbat. It will not be there. So I'm going to give you double today. So there's no need to go looking for it on Shabbat, because I gave you enough today. So don't go out there looking for it tomorrow. It's enough for you today. Keep that in mind. Read.
And all the rulers of the congregation came and told Moses, and he said unto them, this is that which Yahuwah hath said, tomorrow is the rest of the set apart Sabbath unto Yahuwah. Bake that which you will bake today, and seethe that which you will seethe, and that which remains over lay up for you to be kept until the morning.
Until when?
Until the morning.
Until the morning. So what day does the manna stop? It don't stop on Shabbat. It stops on the 6th day. So the 6th day, the manna ceases. On Shabbat, it's not there. What day does it start back? First day, right? Mashiach said that he was what? He was the bread that came down, right? Let's keep this in mind. Get me Genesis. Go ahead, finish it up.
Verse 24. And they laid it up till morning, and Moses bade, and it did not stink.
It what?
It did not stink.
So if you laid it over for Shabbat, it did not what?
It did not stink.
But if you did it on any other day, what would happen to it? It would breed worms and it would stink. But on Shabbat, no worms and no stink to it. I'm glad you read that.
Neither were there any worms therein.
All right, bet. Get me Genesis chapter 1. So the manna ceases on Friday. Genesis chapter 1, verse 31.
The book of Genesis.
Matter of fact, pick it up at 24.
The book of Genesis chapter 1 at verse 24. And Elohim said, let the earth bring forth the living creature after his kind.
So what day is this? This will be the 6th day. Read.
And Elohim said, let the earth bring forth the living creature after his kind, cattle and creeping thing, and the beast of the earth after his kind. And it was so. And Elohim made the beast of the earth after his kind, and the cattle after their kind, and everything that creeps upon the earth after his kind. And Elohim saw it was good. And Elohim said, let us make man in our image, and after our likeness, and let them have dominion over the fish of the sea, and over the fowl of the air, and over the cattle, and over all the earth, and over every creeping thing that creeps upon the earth. So Elohim created man in his own image, and in the image of Elohim created he him. Male and female created he them. And Elohim blessed them, and Elohim said unto them, be fruitful and multiply, and replenish the earth, and subdue it, and have dominion over the fish of the sea, and over the fowl of the air, and over every living thing that moves upon the earth. And Elohim said, behold, I have given you every herb bearing seed which is upon the face of all the earth, and every tree in which is the fruit of a tree yielding seed, and you it shall be meat, and to you it shall be for meat. And to every beast of the earth, and to every fowl of the air, and to everything that creeps upon the earth, wherein there is life, I have given every green herb for meat. And it was so. And Elohim saw everything that he had made, and behold, it was very good.
It was what?
It was very good.
It was very good. So we reflecting back on the whole week, everything that he's made. And this one he says, it is very good. Read.
And the evening and the morning were the sixth day.
Were the what?
The sixth day.
So what has Yah just finished doing? Creating, working. He has finished it. Genesis chapter 2, verse 1.
Genesis 2 and 1. And the Shamayim and the earth were finished, and all the host of them. And on the seventh day Elohim ended his work which he had made. And he rested on the seventh day.
He did what?
He rested on the seventh day.
He rested on the seventh day. So there's no work being done on the seventh day because he ended it on the sixth day of the week. Just like the manna stops on the sixth day, he stopped on the sixth day. Get me Luke 13 and 30.
The book of Luke, chapter 13 at verse 30. And behold, there are last which shall be first.
Hold on 1 second. Hold on. I want something else. One moment. John 19 and 30. My bad. John 19 and 30.
The book of John, chapter 19, at verse 30. And when Yeshua therefore had received the vinegar, he said, it is finished.
It is what?
It is finished.
What does it mean to be finished? He has completed his what? His work that Yah has given him. Read.
And he bowed his head and gave up the ruach.
He did what?
Bowed his head and gave up the ruach.
What day do y'all think this is taking place on? Somebody said Wednesday. This would be the sixth day right here. Everything got to line up. It's got to match. So he gives up the ruach on the sixth day. Now, I know people are saying, oh, no, it can't be. You can't get 3 days and 3 nights from Friday, right? Get me Luke chapter 13, verse 30.
The book of Luke, chapter 13 at verse 30.
Anybody that's kind of confused with this, get your calendar out, please. Does anybody in here need to get their calendar? Or a week out, okay. Get yours out for me.
Ready?
Hold on. Let her get the calendar. All right. Read.
The book of Luke, chapter 13 and verse 30. And behold, there are last which shall be first, and there are first which shall be last. Then the same day there came certain of the Pharisees, saying unto him, get you out, and depart hence, for Herod will kill you. And he said unto them, go you, and tell that fox, behold, I cast out devils, and I do cures today.
What?
And I do cures today.
He says, I do cures today. I want you to put your hand on Friday, sis. Read.
And I do cures today and tomorrow.
And when?
And tomorrow.
So move it over to the next day. Right, read.
And the third day.
And what day?
And the third day.
And the third day. Where you at now? On what day? On Sunday. So Friday, Saturday, Sunday. This is 3 days. It's not the way that we think in our mind. We think, well, at 6 o'clock from here to 6 o'clock tomorrow, that's 1 day. That's not how they did it back then. So we have the 3 days right here. This is not the 3 days and the 3 nights. This is only the 3-day thing. Read.
And on the third day I shall be perfected.
On what day?
On the third day. And the third day I shall be perfected.
So according to what your finger just showed you with your calendar, what day would he be perfected? And what's the name of that day in this calendar? Yes. What? Okay, Sunday. So this is the day that he would be perfected, right? According to this. Read that again.
And he said unto them, Go you, and tell that fox, Behold, I cast out devils, and I do cures today and tomorrow, and the third day I shall be perfected.
Third day I will be perfected. Read.
Nevertheless, I must walk today and tomorrow, and the day following.
And the what?
And the day following.
He's doing it again. He says it double times to drill the point home. Today, tomorrow, and the day following. So it's showing us directly what day that he was going to be perfected. It was quote unquote that Sunday. But we got to address some stuff. Let's get Daniel chapter 9 and verse 24.
The book of Daniel, chapter 9 at verse 24. 70 weeks are determined upon your people and upon your set-apart city to finish the transgression and to make an end of sins.
So notice he says 70 weeks are determined upon your people. This is not regular weeks. This is prophetic weeks. Read that from the top again.
Verse 24. 70 weeks are determined upon your people and upon your set-apart city to finish the transgression and to make an end of sins.
Make it what?
An end of sins.
Make an end of sins. So if we're talking about regular weeks, this has been 1,000 regular weeks since this, but this is prophetic. So he says 70 weeks are determined for your people. Read.
And to make a reconciliation for iniquity. And to bring in everlasting righteousness.
Everlasting what?
Righteousness.
So we know we are not in the everlasting righteousness yet. Read.
And to seal up the vision and prophecy. And to anoint the most set apart.
To do what?
And to anoint the most set apart.
Read.
Know therefore and understand that from the going forth of the commandment to restore and to build Jerusalem unto the Messiah, the prince shall be 7 weeks, and 62 weeks. The street shall be built again, and the wall, even in troublous times. And after 62 weeks shall Messiah be cut off, but not for himself. And the people of the prince that shall come shall destroy the city.
So we got to read that in a regular way. So when it says that 60, and what does it say right there?
62 weeks.
62 weeks. This is 7. This is in the midst of the week. Read that again.
And after 62 weeks shall Messiah be cut off, but not for himself.
What verse you at?
26.
Read.
But not for himself, and the people of the prince that shall come shall destroy the city and the sanctuary. And the end thereof shall be with a flood, and unto the end of the war desolations are determined.
So we got to see what this weeks mean. We got to let the book speak for itself. Get Genesis chapter 29, verse 16.
The book of Genesis, chapter 29, at verse 16.
So we got to let the Bible interpret the Bible as opposed to making stuff up. Read.
Laban had 2 daughters. The name of the elder was Leah, and the name of the younger was Rachel. Leah was tender-eyed, but Rachel was beautiful and well-favored. And Jacob loved Rachel and said, I will serve you 7 years.
How many years?
7 years.
So he says, I'm going to serve for your daughter. I'm going to serve 7 years for your daughter. Read.
For Rachel, your younger daughter. And Laban said, it is better that I give her to you than that I should give her to another man. Abide with me. And Jacob served 7 years for Rachel, and they seemed unto him but a few days, and for the love he had unto her. And Jacob said unto Laban, give me my wife, for my days are fulfilled.
For my what?
My days are fulfilled.
How many days? How many years that he was going to serve for her?
7 years.
7 years, right? So that, boy, she had to be something. 7 years? Read.
For my days are fulfilled, that I may go in unto her. And Laban gathered together all the men of the place, and made a feast. And it came to pass in the evening that he took Leah his daughter, and brought her to him, and he went in unto her. And Laban gave unto his daughter Leah Zilpah his maid for a handmaid. And it came to pass that in the morning, behold, it was Leah.
It was what?
It was Leah.
Read.
And he said to Laban, what is this you have done unto me?
He said, what?
What is this you have done unto me?
So why is this stuff befalling Jacob right here?
Because he was a swindler.
He did the same type of stuff to his brother. So now it's just coming back on him. Read.
What is this you have done unto me? Did not I serve with you for Rachel? Wherefore then have you beguiled me? And Laban said, it must not be so done in our country.
You should have told him that up front.
To give the younger before the firstborn. Fulfill her week.
Fulfill what?
Fulfill her week.
Fulfill her what?
Fulfill her week.
What is the week?
7 years.
7 years. So it's right here showing us that this week that it's talking about is 7 years. So it's not in the midst of the week to put it at Wednesday. That don't go. Read.
Fulfill her week, and we will give you this also for the service which you have served, which you shall serve with me yet 7 other years.
7 what?
7 other years.
7 other years. So it's clear that in the midst of the week is not talking about Wednesday, but it's talking about in the midst of 7-year period. Right? Is that easily seen? I pray so. So this is not saying that. Get me Luke 24:17.
The book of Luke, chapter 24, at verse 17.
So he says, and I will raise up on the 3rd day, right? Read.
And he said unto them.
Matter of fact, pick it up at Luke 24, verse 1. So we can see what day it is.
Luke 24 and verse 1. Now, upon the first day of the week.
What day?
The first day of the week.
Upon the first day of the week. Read.
Very early in the morning, they came unto the sepulchre, bringing the spices which they had prepared, and certain others with them. And they found the stone rolled away from the sepulchre.
They found it what?
The stone rolled away. And they entered in and found not the body of the master Yeshua.
So they came in looking for him on the first day of the week. They didn't go looking for him the day before. Why did they not go look for him on the day before? It's the what? Because you won't what? You won't go looking for him. It don't make sense, right? Jump down to verse 17.
Verse 17. And he said unto them, what manner of communications are these that you have one to another as you walk? Are you sad? And the one of them, whose name was Cleophas, answered and said unto him, Are you only a stranger in Jerusalem, and have not known the things which are come to pass there in these days?
So they don't recognize him. Like, man, are you a stranger? You don't know what's all been taking place going on? Read.
And he said unto them, What things? And they said unto him, Concerning Yeshua of Nazareth, which was the prophet, mighty in deed and word before Elohim and all the people, and how the chief priests and our rulers delivered him to be condemned to death and have crucified him. But we trusted that it had been he which should have redeemed Israel. And beside all this, today is the third day.
Today is what?
Is the third day.
Today is the third day. So it's clear that he resurrected on quote unquote Sunday and not on the Shabbat. So can anybody show me Shabbat night? No Shabbat night? Why is there no order for a Shabbat night? Because, go ahead, Elder, what you got? Absolutely. Absolutely. There's no need to give you a rest when you rest anyway. So absolutely. So Mashiach, clear, this third day, now we got to address the 3 days and the 3 nights thing. What was you just reading from?
That was Luke 24.
All right. Get me Matthew 26, verse 21.
The book of Matthew, chapter 26 at verse 21.
So we got to do a lot of reading with this.
And as they did eat, he said, Truly I say unto you, that one of you shall betray me. And they were exceeding sorrowful, and began every one of them to say unto him, Master, is it I?
Is it what?
Is it I?
Read.
And he answered and said, He that dips his hand with me in the dish, the same shall betray me. And the Son of Man goes as it is written of him. But woe unto that man by whom the Son of Man is betrayed. It had been good for that man if he had not been born.
So he's giving a strong warning to whoever it is that's going to betray me. It would be better that you wasn't born to do this. All of them is sitting there listening to it, right? Read.
Then Judas, which betrayed him, answered and said, Master, is it I?
Is it who?
Is it I?
He got a guilty conscience. You talking about me? Read.
And he said unto him, You have said. And as they were eating, Yeshua took bread and blessed it and brake it and gave it to the disciples and said, Take, eat, this is my body. And he took a cup and gave thanks and gave it to them, saying, Drink you all of it, for this is my blood. For this is my blood of the new covenant, which is shed for the many for the remission of sins.
So, see, was y'all paying attention to Trav last week? Was this the Passover? No. I want a confident answer. I want you to say it like you mean it. Not, no, oh no. This make me think you wasn't paying attention.
You're hungry.
No, this is not Passover. Read.
But I say unto you, I will not drink henceforth of this fruit of the vine until that day when I drink it anew with you in my Father's kingdom. And when they had sung an hymn, they went out into the Mount of Olives. Then said Yeshua unto them, All you shall be offered because of me, that this night,
This what?
this night,
So notice he
I'm sorry,
says,
offended, my bad, offended.
all y'all gonna be offended of me when?
This night,
This night. So what time of day is it right now? It's going into night. It's the evening. Because he's talking about this night, the one that they are in right now. So, again, get your calendar out. This is quote unquote Thursday night. Right? This is Thursday night right here. Read.
for it is written, I will smite the shepherd, and the sheep of the flock shall be scattered abroad. But after I am risen again, I will go before you into Galilee. Peter answered and said unto him, though all men shall be offended because of you, yet will I never be offended. Yeshua said unto him, truly I say unto you, that this night,
What night?
That this night,
Read.
before the cock crow, you shall deny me 3 times.
Read.
Peter said unto him, though I should die with you, yet I will not deny you.
What type of guy is Peter?
About that life.
He do this too much. He talk too much. And he get himself in trouble. Peter talks extremely too much. Always jumping out there, not knowing that you got to pay for what you say. Let that be a lesson. Be quiet. Read.
Peter said unto him, though I should die with you, yet will I not deny you. Likewise, also said all the disciples.
And do you think he mean this when he's saying it? Yeah, he mean it. He mean it. He talking to Mashiach. I'll die before I let anything happen to you, boy. I'm a ride or die. See how quick he pulled that sword out, and cut dude ear off? Peter was about it, but all of the disciples came after him and said it as well. I'll never betray you. Read.
Then comes Yeshua with them into a place called Gethsemane, and said unto the disciples, sit you here while I go and pray yonder. And he took with him Peter and the 2 sons of Zebedee, and began to be sorrowful and very heavy. Then said unto them, my soul is exceeding sorrowful.
It is what?
It is exceeding sorrowful.
What is that? What is beyond sorrowful? What is that? This has got to be the heaviest feeling in the world that he's feeling right now. A burden to him. He said it's exceeding sorrowful. Read.
My soul is exceeding sorrowful, even unto death. Tarry you here and watch with me. And he went a little further and fell on his face and prayed, saying, O my Father, if it be possible, let this cup pass from me.
Why is he doing that? Why is he praying against what is written? I'm going to ask again. Why is he doing this? Why is he praying against what is written? Read on.
Let this cup pass from me. Nevertheless, not as I will, but as you will. And he comes unto his disciples and find them asleep.
So if he at his most lowest moment as a human right now, he asks his friends, because he told them, he said they was what to him? His friends, right? And he come back, he at his lowest moment, and he find his friends doing what? How would you feel about this? Wow. I'm at my lowest moment. I told y'all to watch. And y'all sleeping. They making it even worse. Because he already knows what he came down here to do in the first place, which is to be beaten like a dog, spit on and everything. He knows it. He asking them to stay awake and watch with me and pray with me. And they falling asleep. Read.
And he comes unto his disciples, and find them asleep, and says unto Peter, What? Could you not watch with me 1 hour? Watch and pray.
Y'all think he was saying it hype like B, or, man, y'all fell asleep on me? How y'all think he's saying it? He kind of hot at them. Again, he's at his lowest moment as a human right now. Read.
Watch, verse 41. Watch and pray that you enter not into temptation. The spirit is indeed willing, but the flesh is weak.
But the what?
But the flesh is weak.
So he's already known his whole life what he was coming down here to do. But now that it's time to do it, the Ruach is ready. But the flesh is like, y'all, can you do this any other way? Please, I know you can do all things. Make another way that I don't got to go through this. Read.
Verse 42. He went away again the second time and prayed, saying, O my Father, if this cup may not pass away from me, except I drink it.
Except what?
Except I drink it.
Read.
Your will be done.
Your will be done, or my will be done?
Your will be done.
Your will be done. What's the hardest thing for humans to do in this world? It's to give up your own will. From the time you were a child, you want to do what? Your own will. So when you're a child and you don't get your way for your own will, what does the child do? They have a temper tantrum and fall out and kick and scream and throw stuff. Now, when we become adults, you don't behave in this way, but you do it inwardly. It's still there. I can't do nothing. Still a child in the just big, fighting to do your own will. So guess what's going to get most people in the lake? Because you're going to do your own will. Mashiach right here, this is the only time that he actually wants to disobey Yah, because he know what comes with it. But even with this, he still say, nevertheless, not my will, your will. Read.
And he came and found them asleep again.
I just came back and woke y'all up and told you, don't fall asleep again. Pray that you don't go into temptation, and y'all asleep again. This one, you should have took that belt out again, like in the temple. But his will be done. Read.
For their eyes were heavy, and he left them and went away again and prayed the third time, saying the same words. Then comes he to his disciples and said unto them, Sleep on now.
Do what?
Sleep on now.
Go on and sleep, man.
And take your rest. Behold, the hour is at hand, and the Son of Man is betrayed into the hands of sinners. Rise, let us be going. Behold, he is at hand that does betray me. And while he yet spake, lo, Judas, one of the 12, came, and with him a great multitude with swords and staves, from the chief priests and the elders of the people.
Now, what did he say about whoever shall betray me? What did he say, mentioning him? It would be better if you wasn't born. Did Judas hear that? He heard it. But what did he do? He did his own will. Read.
Verse 48. Now he that betrayed him gave them a sign, saying, Whosoever I shall kiss, the same is he. Behold, hold him fast. And forthwith he came to Yeshua and said, Hail, Master.
What?
Hail, Master, and kissed him. And Yeshua said unto him, Friend.
He said, what?
Friend.
Friend. Now, after Judas comes to his senses, do you think he can get these words out of his mind? Playing over and over. Friend, he knew exactly who I am. Friend, but is Judas really a friend? He's an enemy, and Mashiach still calls him friend. That's got to sting him to death. Read.
And Yeshua said unto him, Friend, where are you coming from? Then came they and laid hands on Yeshua and took him. And behold, one of them which were with Yeshua stretched out his hand and drew a sword and struck a servant of the high priest and smote off his ear.
Did what?
It smote off his ear.
See, he's about it. Ripped his ear off, right? Read.
Then said Yeshua unto him, Put up your sword. Put up your sword into his place. For all they that take the sword shall perish with the sword.
All they that do what?
That shall take the sword shall perish with the sword.
Make it in modern terms. Read it again.
If you live by the sword, you die by the sword. You live by the gun, you die by the gun.
Read.
Think you that I cannot now pray to my Father, and he shall presently give me more than 12 legion of angels? But how then shall the scripture be fulfilled, that thus it must be? In that same hour said Yeshua to the multitudes, Are you come out as against a thief with swords and staves for to take me? I sat daily with you teaching in the temple, and you laid no hold on me. But all this was done, that the scriptures of the prophets might be fulfilled.
That the what?
The scriptures of the prophets might be fulfilled.
All of them similitudes that he was talking about. All of the stuff from Psalms 40 and 7. The book is written of me. He said, I got to do this because all these things have to be fulfilled according to the scriptures and what the prophets wrote. Read.
Then all the disciples forsook him and fled.
They did what?
They forsook him and fled.
So all his boys, his friends who was just sleeping on him, all of them up and left him and ran. Now, when we was in the world, fellas, and we was doing some nonsense, if somebody left you, what did you consider that person after that? Trash. He's scary. This scary dude left us. Not just one, all of them left him. Peter is the only one that's lurking around, kind of there. He better than the rest of them. He kind of there. Read.
Verse 57. And they that had laid hold on Yeshua led him away to Caiaphas, the high priest, where the scribes and the elders were assembled. But Peter followed him afar off unto the high priest's palace.
So Peter better than the rest of them. Even though Peter get the worst rap, he better than the rest of them. He kind of there. Read.
And went in and sat with the servants to see the end. Now the chief priests and the elders and all the council sought false witness against Yeshua to put him to death, but found none. Yea, though many false witnesses came, yet found they none. At the last came 2 false witnesses, and said, This fellow said, I am able to destroy the temple of Elohim and build it in 3 days.
And how many days?
In 3 days.
Was he lying? Absolutely not. Read.
And the high priest arose and said unto him, Answer thou nothing? And what is it which these witnesses against you? But Yeshua held his peace, and the high priest answered and said unto him, I adjure you by the living Elohim, that you tell us whether you be Mashiach, the son of Elohim. Yeshua said unto him, You have said, nevertheless I say unto you, hereafter shall you see the Son of Man sitting on the right hand of power and coming in the clouds of Shamayim. Then the high priest rent his clothes, saying, He hath spoken blasphemy.
So what did the high priest just do with this action? With his garment. Yes. And when the high priest rips his garment, what does that symbolize? Mourning and grief, but it shows the end of his priesthood. So the law commands that no priest rends their garments. So he's so hot and mad that he actually just ended his own priesthood, which he faking anyway, because you know that they lying, because y'all are setting up false witnesses. So you are fake mad. But your fake madness just actually cost you your priesthood. Read.
Then the high priest rent his clothes, saying, He hath spoken blasphemy. What further need have we of witnesses? Behold, now you have heard his blasphemy. What think you? They answered and said, He is guilty of death. Then did they spit in his face.
They did what?
They spit in his face.
So the nerve of these people. They know that he not lying. They know who he say he is. And what kind of person you got to be to spit in the Creator's face? What kind of heart you got to have to do this? And you know you lying. For a fact, you know you telling a lie. And you know he is who he say he is. Read.
Then did they spit in his face and buffeted him. And others smote him with the palm of their hands, saying, Prophesy unto us, O Mashiach, who is he that smote you? Wow. Now Peter sat without in the palace.
What kind of words was them? Mocking.
Taunting,
What's another word?
Taunting.
Proud words. Very, very proud. Read.
Now Peter sat without in the palace, and a damsel came unto him, saying, You also was with Yeshua of Galilee.
You what?
You also was with Yeshua of Galilee.
Wow, so a damsel comes up and say, You was with old boy. Read.
But he denied before them all.
He did what?
Denied before them all.
So his mouth is doing what to him?
Betraying.
He's gotten him in trouble because you shouldn't have been talking in the first place. Read.
Saying, I know not what you say. And when he was gone out into the porch, another maid saw him and said unto them that were there, This fellow was also with Yeshua of Nazareth.
He was with him. Read.
And again he denied with an oath, I do not know the man. And after a while came unto him they that stood by and said to Peter, Surely you are also one of them, and your speech betrays you. Then began he to curse and swear, saying, I know not the man. And immediately the cock crew.
Now, what do you think Peter is feeling right now? Oh, my God. The frog in the throat. I said something I knew I shouldn't have been saying, and this man told me that you going to deny me 3 times, and he done went and did it. I'm shocked that Peter didn't actually go and hang himself as well. I'm glad he didn't. Read on.
And Peter remembered the words of Yeshua, which said unto him, Before the cock crow, you shall deny me 3 times. And he went out and wept bitterly.
He did what?
Wept bitterly.
Read.
When the morning was come.
When what?
When the morning was come.
So now we are leaving from Thursday night, and we are going into what? Friday morning. Right? Read.
And when the morning was come, all the chief priests and elders of the people took counsel against Yeshua to put him to death. And when they had bound him, they led him away and delivered him to Pontius Pilate, the governor. Then Judas, which had betrayed him, when he saw that he was condemned, repented himself and brought again the 30 pieces of silver to the chief priests and elders, saying, I have sinned and that I have betrayed the innocent blood. And they said, what is that to us? See you to that. And he cast down the 30 pieces in the temple, and departed and went and hanged himself.
So Judas repented. Will Judas be in the kingdom? He did repent, right? What did Mashiach say before this took place? It would be better that this person wasn't born than the one that betrays me, right? He told him this up front. It's too late. So notice in the garden, when he gives Adam and Eve time to come clean with the serpent, what did he do? Serpent didn't get no opportunity to repent like them. He didn't cover for him. Same thing with Judas right here. I told you up front before you did it that it would be better that you were not born, whoever betrays me. You did it anyway. So now you feel guilty. You go throw the money back down and you hang yourself. Too bad, bro. Read.
And the chief priest took the silver pieces and said, it is not lawful for to put them into the treasury.
Now they want to keep the law. Wasn't they just doing all type of trickery to break the law? But now because the money got blood on it, hey, it's not lawful to do that. Make up your mind. You want to keep the law or you're going to continue breaking it? Read.
Because it is the price of blood. And they took counsel and bought with them the potter's field to bury strangers in. Wherefore that field was called the field of blood unto this day. Then was fulfilled that which was spoken by Jeremiah the prophet, saying, and they took the 30 pieces of silver, the price of him that was valued, whom they of the children of Israel did value, and gave them for the potter's field, as the master appointed. And Yeshua stood before the governor, and the governor asked him, saying, are you the king of the Yahudim? And Yeshua said unto him, thou sayest. And when he was accused of the chief priests and the elders, he answered nothing. Then said Pilate unto him, hear you not how many things they witness against you?
So I would go over these things. Trav just went over all of these things of why he wasn't speaking. So if you need to, watch that. Read.
And he answered him to never a word, insomuch that the governor marveled greatly. Now at that feast the governor was wont to release unto the people a prisoner, whom they would. And they had then notable prisoner called Barabbas. Therefore, when they were gathered together, Pilate said unto them, whom will you that I release unto you?
So what does Barabbas' name mean? Son of what? Son of the Father. So Barabbas is a type of what? Barabbas is a representation of what? He's looked at as what? Absolutely. He's looked at as a savior himself. This is why they picked him. Read.
Whom will you that I release unto you? Barabbas or Yeshua, which is called Mashiach? For he knew that for envy.
For what?
For envy, they had delivered him.
So why nobody will admit when they have envy in their heart? People will say, oh, yeah, I was in my pride. People will say I'm greedy. People will say I had a lustful spirit on me. People will say I was greedy. But why nobody won't admit to having envy? It's pride, definitely. It's so when you got envy, what is it though? We know it. Everything springs from pride. But why people won't admit to be in envy, having envy. It's going to admit that you are a hater. Nobody wants to admit that I'm a hater. But when you won't admit it, what happens? You stay a hater. Read.
And verse 19, when he was set down on the judgment seat, his wife sent unto him, saying, have you nothing to do with that just man?
With what just man?
With that just man.
Read.
For I have suffered many things this day in a dream because of him. But the chief priests and the elders persuaded the multitude that they should ask Barabbas and destroy Yeshua.
So it says who did this?
The chief priests and the elders persuaded the multitude that they should ask Barabbas and destroy Yeshua.
So in the end of the world, what do you think the priests and the elders are going to do with the people? What do y'all think the priests and the elders and the pastors and the bishops and the what do you think they're going to do? They don't do the same thing. The exact same thing that they doing right there, they going to do it in the end. Because it's the people that you trust that hold them titles and them positions that tell you what you want to hear, that give you the smooth things, all this stuff. They're going to do the same thing that they doing right there. They're going to do it then. Read.
The governor answered and said unto them, whether of the two will you that I release unto you? And they said, Barabbas. Pilate says unto them, what shall I do then with Yeshua, which is called Hamashiach? They all say unto him, let him be crucified.
Let him be what?
Let him be crucified.
Let him be crucified. And what else?
And the governor said, why? What evil hath he done? But they cried out the more, saying, let him be crucified.
Let him be what?
Let him be crucified.
Let him be crucified. Wow. I wouldn't want to be one of them. Read.
When Pilate saw that he could prevail nothing, but that rather the tumult was made, he took water and washed his hands before the multitude, saying, I am innocent of the blood of this just person.
So we got a Roman who is refusing to do it, but our own people is egging it on. So this quote unquote white Roman is saying this man is innocent. But what is our own people doing to him? Crucify him. Right? So when somebody from our people get in trouble, we'll throw that person under the bus with the quickness. Right? We'll do the same thing. We'll get rid of them with the quickness. Now, I'm not taking up for Kwame or anything, but is not all of them dudes doing the same thing? Do not all politicians lie? Why the rest of them ain't locked up and have to do all that and move and do that? But it was our own people egging it on. Yeah, he was too arrogant anyway. Look at him. He got earrings in. What? Again, we know when you get in the game, you got to be a crook to be in it. Right? But we quick to throw our own all the way under the bus and give somebody else a pass. Read.
He took water and washed his hands before the multitude, saying, I am innocent of the blood of this just person.
He said, I'm what?
I'm innocent of the blood of this just person.
Read.
See you to it. Then answered all the people and said, his blood be on us and on our children.
His what?
His blood be on us and on our children.
Wow. So they just said, put the blood on us and on our children. What Trav just teach us about this? He did what? They covered with Mashiach's blood. So just like what Joseph did with his brothers, what y'all meant for evil, y'all meant for good. So even though they doing a wicked thing, they actually still being covered with Mashiach's blood. Still got to pay for that though. Read.
Then released he Barabbas unto them, and when he had scourged Yeshua.
Who scourged Yeshua?
Says he.
Who is the he there?
Is it Barabbas?
No.
Pilate?
It's Pilate. But you said you was innocent of the blood of this just man. So what did you do that part for? That's the one thing that he was afraid of going through was the beatings, right? You just did it. You not innocent, buddy. Read.
And when he had scourged Yeshua, he delivered him to be crucified. Then the soldiers of the governor took Yeshua into the common hall and gathered unto him the whole band of soldiers. And they stripped him and put on him a scarlet robe. And when he had platted a crown of thorns, he put it upon his head, and a reed in his right hand, and he bowed the knee before him.
So even though they mocking him, what did they still do? You still bowed. But the next time it's going to be way, way worse because you mocking right now. Read.
He bowed the knee before him and mocked him, saying, Hail, King of the Yahudim. And they spit upon him and took the reed and smote him on the head. And after that they had mocked him, they took the robe off of him and put his own raiment on him and led him away to crucify him. And as they came out, they found a man of Cyrene, Simon by name. Him they compelled to bear his stake. And when they were come unto a place called Golgotha, that is to say, a place of a skull, they gave him vinegar to drink, mingled with gall. And when he had tasted thereof, he would not drink. And they crucified him and parted his garment, casting lots, that it might be fulfilled which was spoken by the prophet. They parted my garment among them, and upon my vesture did they cast lots. And sitting down, they watched him there, and set up over his head an accusation written, This is Yeshua, the King of the Yahudim. And then were there two thieves crucified with him, one on the right hand, another on the left. And they that passed by reviled him, wagging their heads.
They did what?
Wagging their heads.
So it's bad enough that he's in agony and the worst beatings ever. The crown of thorns on his head. He bleeding, thirsty, hungry. His own people done turned their back on him, cursing him. Now these people is reviling him and teasing him. If this was one of y'all and y'all got the power of Yah, what would you do right here? Father, get me down right now. Burn them all up. Super eyes. Mm-hmm.
That we're going to all fall short of ultimately, but that's the walk to try to meet that measuring stick. Is it for that reason what separate Peter from like a Judas? Like when he told him, you're going to deny me. Like, there's a difference from like him giving him up versus him thinking about himself in a situation where it was about the mission, but it's like, dang, it's life or death though. Not in the flesh thinking like, this is the worst thing we could take. myself now to this extent where Yahushua, like, he prayed that if it could go down another way in Yah's will, that, you know, he could be spared physically, but like, if when he saw that it wasn't, he just put the mission first, whereas Peter, it ain't like a condemnation, because it was just like a human moment more so.
Yeah, so it's a lesson in this about when he's talking about that every idle word that you speak shall be held against you. You know what I'm saying? So this is why it's like he always talk about being slow to speak, right? And not just saying rash things out the blue. Peter was famous for doing this type of stuff. You know, just popping off saying stuff, even though I fully believe he meant what he said. But we all, at some point, if you're not a part of Philadelphia, going to face this exact same type of thing, which is either worship the beast and deny Mashiach or get your head cut off. So everybody going to face that type of thing. At some point, if you're not a part of Philly, you're going to face that same scrutiny, right? So this is why you gotta have the faith of Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego in order to get through this, because they got thrown in that fire and they didn't deny him. Same type of faith. Where was you at?
Matthew chapter 27 and verse 40. 39. And they that passed by reviled him, and wagging their heads, and saying, You that destroyed the temple and built it in 3 days, save yourself. If you be the son of Elohim, come down from that stake. Likewise, also the chief priests mocking him, with the scribes and elders said, He saved others, himself he cannot save.
Oh, it would be so hard for me not to get down. Read.
If he be the king of Israel, let him now come down from the stake, and we will believe him. He trusted in Elohim, let him deliver him now, if he will have him, for he said, I am the son of Elohim. The thieves also which were crucified with him cast the same in his teeth. Now from the 6th hour there was darkness over all the land.
From what hour?
From the 6th hour.
From the 6th hour, this is noon, right? Read.
Unto the 9th hour.
That's 3 o'clock. Read.
And about the 9th hour, Yeshua cried with a loud voice, saying, Eli, Eli, lama sabachthani. That is to say, my Elohim, why have you forsaken me? Some of them that stood there, when they heard that, said, This man calls for Elijah. And straightway one of them ran and took a sponge, filled it with vinegar, and put it on a reed, and gave him to drink. The rest said, Let be, let us see whether Elijah will come to save him. Yeshua, when he had cried again with a loud voice, yielded up the Ruach.
He did what?
Yielded up the Ruach.
He yielded up the Ruach. So according to the law, when does the lamb have to be taken down? No. They just killed him. When does it have to be taken down? Before what? Before darkness. So we know that they got to take it down before the darkness to keep the law. So when they take him down, we go into what? Another night, right? So we started it out with Thursday night. Then it went into Friday morning. Now it's about to go into quote unquote Friday night, right? Read.
And behold, the veil of the temple was rent in two from the top to the bottom, and the earth did quake, and the rocks rent, and the graves were opened, and many bodies of the saints which slept arose, and came out of the graves after his resurrection, and went into the set apart city, and appeared unto many. Now, when the centurion and they that were with him watching Yeshua saw the earthquake and those things that were done, they feared greatly, saying, Truly, this was the Son of Elohim. And many women were there beholding afar off, which followed Yeshua from Galilee, ministering unto him, among which was Mary Magdalene, and Mary the mother of James, and Joseph, and the mother of Zebedee's children. When the evening was come.
When what?
When the evening was come.
So here we go into Friday night. So we have Thursday night and Friday night. Read.
When the evening was come, there came a rich man of Arimathea, named Joseph, who also himself was Yeshua's disciple. He went to Pilate and begged the body of Yeshua. Then Pilate commanded the body be delivered. And when Joseph had taken the body, he wrapped it in clean linen cloth and laid it in his own new tomb, which he had hewn out in the rock. And he rolled a great stone to the door of the sepulchre and departed. And there was Mary Magdalene and the other Mary sitting over against the sepulchre. Now the next day that followed.
Now what?
Now the next day that followed.
So now we have Thursday night, Friday morning, Friday night, and Shabbat morning, right? So we in the next day. Read.
Now the next day that followed the day of preparation, the chief priests and Pharisees came together unto Pilate, saying, Sir, we remember that deceiver said, while he was yet alive, after 3 days will I rise again. Command therefore that the sepulchre be made sure until the 3rd day, lest his disciples come by night and steal him away, and say unto the people, he is risen from the dead. So the last error shall be worse than the first. Pilate said unto them, You have a watch. Go your way. Make it as sure as you can.
So Pilate, I thought she was innocent, but you still trying to plot with them. Read.
So they went and made the sepulchre sure, sealing the stone and setting a watch. In the end of the Sabbath.
In the what?
In the end of the Sabbath.
Read.
As it began to dawn toward the first day of the week.
Toward the what?
Toward the first day of the week.
So in the end of the Sabbath, you have a what? You have your third what?
Day.
Your third night. You have your third night right here because he told you 3 days and 3 what?
Nights.
3 nights. Read.
Now in the chapter 28, verse 1. Now in the end of the Sabbath, as it began to dawn toward the first day of the week.
Toward the what?
Toward the first day of the week.
So now it's the first day of the week. Here we have our 3 days and our 3 nights. It go right back to Sunday again. Read.
Came Mary Magdalene and the other Mary to the sepulchre.
So again, why didn't they go out there on Shabbat? No bread. Exactly. Knew it wasn't the 3rd day, and he got to fulfill the thing with the manna. He was finished on Friday, just like he finished creation on Friday. The manna ceases on Friday. He gave up the Ruach on Friday, came back on Sunday because it starts all over again on Sunday, which is the 8th day shows new beginning. 7th shows completeness. 8th day show new beginnings.
And behold, verse 2, and behold, there was a great earthquake, and the Malachim of Yahuwah descended from Shamaim, and came and rolled back the stone from the door, and sat upon it. His countenance was like lightning, and his raiment white as snow. And for fear of him, the keepers did shake, and became as dead men. And the Malachim answered and said unto the women, Fear not you, for I know that you seek Yeshua, which was crucified. He is not here.
He is what?
He is not here.
He is not here. Read.
For he is risen.
For he is what?
For he is risen.
For he is risen. Therefore it is resurrection Sunday. As bad as it sounds in our minds, it is what it is. right? He did not raise up on Shabbat, which is what we all was believing and was taught when we came into this walk. Sad he did not rise on the Shabbat, because he would have been breaking Shabbat. He would have broke his rest.
Yeah,
You came here way late.
yeah,
But no, I'm saying like I thought that the night preceded after the day. Is before the day? Because you said Sunday was his third day. But you said Saturday was his third night. I'm just trying to get her.
Okay, I'm going to go through it real quick. So, on the quote-unquote Last Supper that everybody thinks is the Passover, it is not. That took place on Thursday night. So, Thursday night is the first night, right? Saturday morning would be the first what? Friday morning would be what?
first day.
First day. Right. Then, Friday night would be what? The second what?
Second night.
Second night. Saturday morning would be what?
Second day.
The second day. Right? Then Saturday night would be what?
Third night. Third night.
It would be the third night. And then Sunday morning would be what?
Third day.
The third day. There you have your 3 days and 3 nights.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that makes a good question. That's you missed too much. You asked something different. Okay, he's not. He actually not. He's not. Because if it said he was in the ground for 3 days and 3 nights, that's a good question as to how long
He-
he count Thursday night. If you missed that too.
He was never in the ground for 3 days and 3 nights.
So, from the beginning, what you missed was the 2 separate prophecies. One about 3 days and 3 nights, and the other one about being on the third day when he rebuilt the temple. So he went through showing the 3 days and 3 nights. We read through the whole sequence from the beginning at the Last Supper all the way through until he had been crucified and now being risen. And also dealing with the fact we actually tapped on that in the very beginning in Luke when he was walking with them, and they're like, yo, are you a stranger in Jerusalem? Did you not know what happened? And they're like, yo, what happened? He was like, that they crucified Mashiach, and now this being the third day, and he was actually walking with them having been risen on that third day.
And he was definitely not dead for 3 days and 3 nights, because if he was dead for 3 days and 3 nights, he would have bred worms and stank, right? So he couldn't be that, because he says, my Holy One shall see no corruption. So he wasn't dead for 3 days and 3 nights. The whole sequence took 3 days and 3 nights.
And also, real quick, Harry, what I think might have got missed too is when we equate the in the heart of the earth, we think in the ground, but he never was actually in the ground. It says that my man had carved out a stone. He was in a stone. He was above the ground in a sepulcher. So he never was actually in the ground at all. In Jerusalem, right. Oh, go ahead.
That's what I was looking for too. Because I guess I just wanted to have clarity on like how we know to roll with what it's talking about. Because where people get the idea about him being in the ground for 3 days and 3 nights. Because I get, especially when the scripture ties into the in the beginning of the book of Luke, where it say the only sign that we'll have will be like with Jonas and the big fish.
Yeah, I think you might have missed that part too. We did go over that in the very beginning. That's what I'm saying. He touched on the 3 days and 3 nights, like in the belly of the fish, but that's 3 days and 3 nights in the heart of the earth. That heart of the earth doesn't mean in the ground. It actually means in Jerusalem, which is the center of the actual center of the earth, or center of that land.
So that detail with the sepulcher is what we have to validate that that's what that's talking about.
Not just that, the whole sequence of events he went through. And when you start from the beginning, when he actually came into Jerusalem, right? And then you start walking it down all the way through. You see the days.
Yeah.
That's what we just read through, and pretty much in Matthew.
Go to Matthew 16:21.
The book of Matthew, chapter 16, at verse 21. From that time forth began Yeshua to show unto his disciples how that he must go unto Jerusalem.
How he must do what?
Go unto Jerusalem.
So he wasn't in Jerusalem. He had to go to Jerusalem, right? Hold that. Get Ezekiel 5 and 5.
Right, you want to finish this out? You want to finish this out? Or no?
Go ahead.
Right. How he must go unto Jerusalem and suffer many things of the elders and chief priests and scribes, and be killed, to be raised again the third day.
So all of this is taking place. It's not just them killing him, but all of this is encompassed in this. From the time they betray him to the beating to the trial, all of it is encompassed in this. So he has to go to Jerusalem. Remember, he couldn't go to Jerusalem no more because every time he was in Jerusalem, they was trying to kill him over and over. Ezekiel 5 and 5.
The book of Ezekiel, chapter 5, at verse 5. Thus says Yahuwah Elohim, this is Jerusalem. I have set it in the midst of the nations.
In the what?
In the midst of the nations.
So Jerusalem is the heart of the earth. Right?
And the countries that are round about her.
So when it's saying that, if he wanted to say that I will be in the ground, he would have used the same word that he used for grave. Grave is there throughout the book. He never used that word for that. What you got, Ak?
I was wondering. Okay, so it says that Mary Magdalene and Mary, the mother of Christ,
Mashiach. Right.
Mashiach, they came when it was yet dark. So, and the stone was already moved. The soldiers was already dead.
Uh-huh.
So,
But what does the text call that?
what does the text call it?
Go back to Matthew 28.
Matthew 28 at verse 1. In the end of the Sabbath, as it began to dawn toward the first day of the week, came Mary Magdalene and the other Mary to see the sepulchre. And behold, there was a great earthquake, and the Malachim of Yahuwah descended from Shamayim.
So what day is this right here? First day, right?
It's dawn to the first day. So that's when the sun is starting to crack the earth.
Right. So what's your question?
So if that was already done by the time it got there, that means he had to have risen before that.
Get Luke 24:21 again.
The book of Luke, chapter 24, at verse 21. But we trusted that it had been he which should have redeemed Israel. And besides all this, today is the third day since these things were done.
It is what?
The third day since these things were done.
Jump back to verse 1.
Now,
I'm about to show it to you.
verse 1. Now upon the first day of the week, very early in the morning, they came unto the sepulchre, bringing spices which they had prepared, and certain other with them.
So verse 21 just told you that this is the third day, which is the first day. You good? Anybody else got any questions on this? It was Matthew 16.
I see it. 21.
Get it don't give you no names, but go to what is that, Isaiah 20. Hold on a second.
Repeat the question. It was open, but she was kind of low.
The question was, who were the people who rose from the graves when he died in the earthquake?
Give me Isaiah 26. Let's get us a little context. Pick it up at verse 15.
The book of Isaiah, chapter 26, at verse 15. You have increased the nation, O Yahuwah. You have increased the nation. You are esteemed. You have removed it far unto all the ends of the earth. Yahuwah, in trouble have they visited you. They poured out a prayer when your chastening was upon them. Like as a woman with a child that draws near the time of her delivery is in pain and cries out in her pangs, so have we been in your sight, O Yahuwah. We have been with child. We were brought forth wind. We were brought forth wind. We have not wrought any deliverance in the earth, neither have the inhabitants of the world fallen. Your dead men shall live together with my dead body.
With what?
With my dead body.
So who is this speaking right here? Even though it's Isaiah, it's written of Isaiah, but we know Isaiah ain't talking about himself right here. Read that again.
That your dead men shall live together with my dead body shall they arise, awake and sing, and that dwell in dust, and you that dwell in dust, for your dew is as dew of herbs, and the earth shall cast out the dead.
And shall do what?
Cast out the dead.
So this is what it's talking about. This is linking that thing what Mashiach was what it was talking about in Matthew 26, that when he rose, that the people came out their graves. This is talking about this, but it don't tell you who it is that's actually risen. So is there anything else?
But it is talking about actual people that was dead, though, right?
Absolutely. Right.
And what we just read said it.
I might as well ask it. I always had this question about that too. Like, you know, I talk about the second death, first and second resurrection. What was that? Like, what was that? Like, how does?
This is a prophecy being fulfilled from Isaiah's time. Like he says, all things got to be fulfilled. Now, the second death, what you were talking about, the first and second death, what you were talking about, get Daniel chapter 12.
They got resurrected. So, first resurrection come around. Like, did they die again? Like, what happened? Like,
No.
They gonna be, so they live through then, through now.
It's some people that's already there, just like Elijah and them, never died.
Because they're not still down here. Right?
No, they will be thousands of years old.
That's why I know it is.
No. Daniel chapter 12, verse 1.
Daniel 12 and 1. And at that time shall Michael stand up, the great prince which stands for the children of my people, of your people, And there shall be a time of trouble, such as never was since there was a nation, even to that same time. And at that time your people shall be delivered, every one that shall be found written in the book. And many of them that sleep in the dust of the earth shall awake.
Shall do what?
Shall awake.
So these people are dead right here. He says, many people that sleep in the dust shall do what?
Shall awake.
Read.
Some to everlasting life, and some to shame and everlasting contempt.
So the people that wakes up to everlasting life, they are a part of the first resurrection. The people that don't get up are the ones that's in the second resurrection, which Revelation makes more clear. Go to Revelation chapter 20. Pick it up at verse 1.
The book of Revelation, chapter 20, at verse 1. And I saw a Malach come down from Shamaim, having the key to the bottomless pit, and a great chain in his hand. And he laid hold on the dragon, that old serpent, which is the devil and Shaitan, and bound him 1,000 years.
How long?
1,000 years.
Read.
And cast him into the bottomless pit, and shut him up, and set a seal upon him, that he should deceive the nations no more, till the 1,000 years should be fulfilled.
Till what?
1,000 years shall be fulfilled.
Read.
And after that he must be loosed a little season. And I saw thrones, and they sat upon them, and judgment was given unto them. And I saw the souls of them that were beheaded for the witness of Yeshua, and for the word of Elohim, and which had not worshipped the beast, neither his image, neither had received his mark upon their foreheads, nor in their hands. And they lived and reigned with Mashiach 1,000 years.
A what?
1,000 years.
1,000 years. So these people are in the first resurrection. Read.
But the rest of the dead lived not again until the 1,000 years were finished.
So we don't want to be a part of this group. If you happen to die, you want to be a part of the first group. The second group is still in trouble. Read.
This is the first resurrection. Increased and set apart is he that have part in the first resurrection. On such the second death have no power, but they shall be priests of Elohim and of Mashiach, and shall reign with him 1,000 years. And when the 1,000 years are expired, Shaitan shall be loosed out of his prison, and shall go out to deceive the nations which are in the four quarters of the earth.
So these people that was in the first resurrection, none of this won't matter to them because they already sealed. They good.
I get that between the first and second resurrection. I was just asking, how did those people that were resurrected when Mashiach was here the first go around, how did that play into, because that's spoken of like it pertains to everybody, but clearly it's a group of people that was resurrected already, and it's like what happened to them? Like, how does that affect them in particular?
It don't affect them at all. Don't affect them at all.
Because they were all taken like Enoch.
Exactly. They definitely not down here walking around alive.
Last question about that. Is it anything we have, even any of the outside, like any of the separated ones, like that says that they were taken up?
I don't read them no more, so I don't know. What you got? Go back to Isaiah 26. See, this verse right here, everybody was using this talking about COVID.
I just saw.
Isaiah 26, verse, pick it up at 19 again.
The book of Isaiah, chapter 26, and verse 19. Your dead men shall live together with my dead body. Shall they arise, awaken, seeing you that dwell in the dust? For the dew is as the dew of herbs, and the earth shall cast out the dead. Come, my people, enter you into your chambers, and shut your doors about you. Hide yourself, it is as it were, for a little moment, until the indignation be overpast. For behold, Yahuwah comes out of his place to punish the inhabitants of the earth for their iniquity. The earth also shall disclose her blood, and shall no more cover the slain.
So this covers a large amount of time right here. It's talking about them that went in, and it's pointing to the future. So when we think about the scriptures, we can't think, oh, that was fulfilled here, because we know that prophecy is cyclical. It happens numerous times over and over again. This is how we understand stuff, because it is cyclical.
So they probably went up when he went up, basically.
Absolutely. So there's a group called the 24 Elders. So there's a group called the 24 Elders, and when you read through it, they are in Shamaim, and they are not Malachims. Anything on it?
Yeah. Hold on.
Is that pretty clear for y'all, though? So,
You kind of may have already answered, but is there a set day for his resurrection? Like how Easter Sunday is supposed to represent and be the resurrection day, but it's never on the same day. What book can I get a better understanding?
No, there is no quote unquote set day the way that the Western world is doing it. There is no set day. It is according to the luminaries, to the signs in Shamaim.
and even still, there was like no dedicated like feast or set apart time or anything that was surrounding his resurrection in particular, though, right? Yeah, right. So it would have been he would have resurrected on the according to this on the day that they waved the sheaf, right? On the 16th, yeah, first fruits.
Because he is the first fruits.
So there you go. Yeah. So first fruits. Boom.
We should think on Wednesday.
Not the only one?
Yes. That one was just a comment.
Nothing else in here? All right, we're going to pray. We can pray. Let's go.
BJ.
You got announcements? We gonna announce. We got announcements.
Yeah. I'm sorry. Tomorrow
Tomorrow,
we'll be here at 2 p.m.
2 p.m.
That's the fifth day. Sixth day is on Monday at 7 p.m. The last day, the seventh day, is a convocation. We'll be here at 2 p.m. on Tuesday. Should be taking that day off. No working, buying, selling. The menu is already out, so those who are participating will know we still need donations. If you're in the Chosen Seed Board, please look, see what is needed. You can always send donations to Cash App, Chosen Feasts, and we can distribute the money to help those who are cooking or purchasing food and buy what is needed. that is, I believe that is it. Then we'll be done again until May 25th, which is the next feast day. May 25th is going to be the next feast day, so if you need to take it off, that is the Feast of Weeks, I'm sorry, not Feast of Weeks, Pentecost, on May 25th. So make sure you take that day off too if you have to pre-schedule. I don't think there is anything else.
Anything else? Sister Wanda? That was it? We good?
Yes.
Anybody else that need prayer? Any prayer requests?
Brother Johnny too is still
Brother Johnny?
having headaches, and they said his blood pressure is up a little bit. Sister Venus also. Yes. Yeah.
Trapped mother, lost their father, lost her father.
Also, Sister Terry, Brother Travis's father, Brother Travis's grandfather passed away. So it was both a joyful and a sad day for them. And the birth of his child and the loss of his grandfather, Sister Terry's father. Brother Johnny again is, you were here last night, he had some type of attack, but he was experiencing some other things this morning. Brother Larry, his brother is in the hospital as well, is in ICU. Sister Venus also posted that she went to the hospital this morning, so we have a lot to pray for. Just praying that everyone will be comforted and healed. Any other prayer requests that we have? Okay. Mama Johnson. All right. If all minds are clear. Abba Yahuwah, Father, we give you praise, honor, and esteem today. Father, we thank you for another day. We thank you again for your feast, Father. We thank you for your mercies, another day that you allow us to see, Father, to worship you and walk in truth on your Shabbat day. During your feast, Father, we ask that you continue to allow us to be mindful of our lives and our thoughts and our actions, Father, that we lay aside every weight of sin that does easily beset us, Father. Father, we ask that you forgive us of any sins, iniquity, and transgressions, Father, that we have committed, Father, that you, when you see us, Father, you see the blood of your Son, Yahushua HaMashiach, Father, that we set our minds on things above, Father, that we look to you, who is the author and finisher of our faith, Father. We know that you're able to do exceedingly abundantly above that what we ask or think, Father. Father, we ask that you be with Sister Terry and Brother Travis and the loss of their family member, that you send them comfort and strength, Father, that you be with Mother Johnson, Father, you comfort her and strengthen her and send healing to her body, as well as, Father, Brother Larry's brother and Sister Venus, Father, that you continue to comfort them and strengthen them as only you can, Father. Our brother Johnny as well, Father, send comfort and strength, Father, and send your healing wings, Father. We know that you're a healer, Father, you're a waymaker, you're able to do exceedingly above what we ask or think, Father. You said with 2 or 3 are gathered, Father, you will be in the midst, Father, and that every matter be established by 2 or 3 witnesses, Father. We ask that you look upon us, Father, and find at least 2 of us, Father, worthy and righteous enough to hear our prayer, Father, and incline your ear to us today. We pray, Father, as we come to your throne, that we may find help and grace in our time of need, Father. We pray for Brother Jay as well, Father, and all those who are going through anything, whether it be financially or spiritually, physically, whether it may be in their homes and their jobs, Father. We ask you to keep us, Father, as we look to you, Father. We are burdens upon you. We cast our cares upon you, Father, for we know that you care for us, Father. We take upon you your yoke, Father, and learn of you, Father, to make our way easy, Father, and our burdens light. Father, we ask you to continue to allow us to be joyful during this feast time, Father. We continue to just celebrate you as the way you command us to do, Father. We ask you to bless the food, those who are prepared, Father, and those who continue to come, Father, those who are absent from us today. And as you be with them, keep us safe as we travel to and fro, Father, for the rest of your feast, Father, safe from any harm or accidents or incidents, Father. Keep us under your blood, Father. We pray and give you thanks and praise in the name of Yahushua HaMashiach. So be it.
Happy New Shabbat Shalom. Ikadosh, Shemka, Tabo, Makuka, Yase, Besumka, Baris, Kasher, Masha, Bashamai, Taylanu, Hayon, Niki, Hikanu, Uslat, Lanu, 8, Asmasenu, Kasher, Suki, Anaknu, Lasher, Asmu, Lanu, Woho, Tabinu, Lede, Masa, Ki, In, Hasulanu, Ni, Ra, Ki, Laka, Umam Laka, Wari Bara, Wati Fridge, Lame, Lami, Soviet.
For those who don't know, that was Our Father in Hebrew. We just said it in Hebrew. That's all that was.
Because I was getting tired. I meant to say Pentecost. It is this week. I was thinking about tabernacles in my head when I said that. I can't hear no. It is a feast week. Yeah, I was thinking tabernacles. I was thinking I was saying tabernacles. But feast of weeks, Pentecost, and Sabbath.
Wait a minute, man. Because ain't nobody correct you. So I'm like,
Yeah, that's what it was.
I'm on for mad.
It was too much. My brain was going too fast. First fruits is Wednesday. We should be here. I don't know why we don't do that. Yeah, I don't know why we don't come together on first fruits. Definitely committed to.
You see, the Wednesday, it's a commandment, but we don't harvest wheat. So the commandment was to make a sacrifice after the wheat was harvested to the priest.
That's why we don't.
We should.
You taking this
Yes.
Wait, to make a sacrifice.